Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion on another country and we will try to look at the governing planets of that country. So guys, we will be having our discussion today on Syria. Now just because I recently saw that in the news that Israel attacked some of the militant areas in the Syria only, so it suddenly came into the news, and just because I actually wanted to present Syria as a case study that what could be the governing planets which actually made a country a battleground of so many conflicting interest, like so many countries from the world were having their interest being enforced through war, where the dictator was actually using the chemical weapons on its own citizens. So because of that guys, in this video we will have our short discussion on Syria's governing planets. Like the way you know this thing, that the data which I will be presenting over here has been taken from the ChatGPT, all the political stats and the figures. The chart of the country which I will be showing you over here, that has been taken from a very senior Vedic astrologer from the legacy of the Bharati Vidya Bhavan. This chart has been calculated by her way back in 90s. Now obviously guys, in case of Syria, now just because the Bashar al-Assad's regime which recently got overthrown in December of 2024 only. So immediate after that, now if you have to do the calculation, you have to draw a new chart. But just because in this video we will be focusing more on this civil war which broke out there and the use of the chemical weapon, so I'm still going to be using the chart of the 1970s coup which has been shared by that senior Bharati Vidya Bhavan Vedic astrologer in her book. So we will be having our discussion based on that, like all the planetary dasha timelines which led to this kind of chaos over there. So okay guys, now starting my discussion, just because just for me to build a base, because if I will not give you a context and straight away I will start talking from the point of view of the planets, it might be slightly confusing for lot many people. So the initial 10-15 minutes we will be just focusing on understanding the whole like politics and what happened initially which led to a dictator using chemical weapons. So first we will try to understand the base context and then we will dive into the astrological section of today's video. So guys, the very first thing is that Syria, which as of 2025, Syria's population is approximately 23.6 million with an annual growth rate of 4.57%. The impact of this civil war was that, so this civil war which began in 2011 has significantly affected Syria's demographics. By 2014, approximately 9.5 million Syrians had been displaced, with over 5.5 million living as refugees in neighboring countries by 2020. Now guys, knowing about this dictator of Syria, so Bashar al-Assad is a Syrian politician, military officer and dictator who served as the 19th president of Syria from 2000 until his government was overthrown in December 2024. Now like he is a Shia Muslim, but Syria in a way is majority Sunni Muslim country. In terms of the percentage of the people living over there, you will see that 74% of the Sunni Muslims live in Syria and 16% of the other Muslim sects, which includes Shia group as well. But the dictator who was there for so many decades, because even he took over the power from his father only. So in a like Sunni majority country, the family who was ruling over there was a Shia Muslim family. So guys, now focusing over here, just because he took over the control from his father whose name was Hafiz al-Assad. Now he was a Syrian politician and before that he was a military officer as well, and he actually seized the power in 1970 after leading a coup which was called as the corrective movement. Now guys, just because a certain thing about him, like because if you have to know that what kind of like legacy he left for his son. So initially his eldest son was supposed to preside over and take control of the reins of the country from him, but his eldest son gotten into a car accident, and because of that the other son, like Bashar al-Assad, he took control over the country's politics. So now guys, the legacy for which he will be remembered, so remembered as a ruthless but stabilizing figure who cemented Alawite dominance and turned Syria into a regional power while isolating it diplomatically. Now guys, just because if we have to understand that why this civil war happened, so before that we have to also take into consideration that what were the leading circumstances. So over there, the time period from 2006 till 2010 played a very significant role, because this was the time when, because of the less rain, there was drought like situation in Syria, which actually increased the prices, inflation, poverty, unemployment. So the civilians or the general population was already battling with heavy inflation. And guys, that was also concurrently the same time when this Arab Spring was also happening in the Middle East. So Arab Spring simply means a wave of pro-democracy uprisings and anti-government protest that swept across the Middle East and North Africa beginning in the late 2010. So the origin of that, it happened because of the self-immolation of one Tunisian street vendor, which happened on December 17th, 2010, and it actually spread into a wildfire, and it spread in the neighboring countries as well, like in Tunisia, in Egypt, in Libya, in Syria, in Yemen, in Bahrain. So at that point of time, what happened, because of the self-immolation of a Tunisian street vendor, it actually got spread into all of these countries as well. Now guys, the outcome of that Arab Spring was, the positive outcome was that democratic reforms in some countries, for example Tunisia, became a democracy, increased political awareness and civil society activism. And when we talk about the negative outcomes, so obviously civil wars which happened in Syria, Libya, Yemen, and authoritarian resurgence which happened like in Egypt's return to military rule, and mass displacement and refugee crisis. I guess countries like even Canada, Germany, they actually took lot many refugees from Syria as well, right at that time when this whole crisis and this civil war was happening over there. Now guys, now this is a very interesting story. There has been lot many documentaries which has also been made on this incident, that how come graffiti made by a 14-year-old led into a whole international kind of war in a country, which actually like threw away a dictator and brought so many superpowers for their conflicted interest in that region. So what happened on 26th Feb 2011 in this southern part of Syria, this region called as the Dara, over there on a school nearby Al Omari Mosque, there was this guy, 14-year-old, 7th grade, Moavia Saesne, if I'm pronouncing the name right. So what happened, just because right at that time there was this whole like Arab Spring was happening in all the neighboring countries. So what did he do, that this 14-year-old kid, he took that graffiti paint, and on outside of a wall outside of his school, he wrote this thing in Arabic: "It's your turn, doctor." Now, doctor has been used for the Bashar al-Assad because he studied the medicine as well. He studied from Western Eye Hospital in London, and because of that, everyone also used to call him in his close circle as Dr. Assad as well. So he wrote this thing in that graffiti: "It's your turn, doctor." Now you will be surprised how this one standalone incident led into such a big, massive wildfire, like almost at the end killing more than 400,000 people, which includes the rebels, which includes the military people, which includes the civilians as well. So guys, so what happened, just because of that like act of a kid, and right at that time, because Bashar al-Assad has already warned and alerted majority of his military people within the country and the intelligence as well, just because in our neighboring countries so much of the protest is happening. So whatever happens, even a standalone small incident of resistance, do not take it lightly. Take very strict and stern action against that. So what happened when this news spread? People actually started observing that on the wall about that graffiti, that it's your turn, doctor. So which actually alerted one of the cousin of Bashar al-Assad, who was also responsible for the military order in that region, in the southern part of Syria, in the Dara region as well. The name of that is Atef Najib. So, and who later on got this title of the torturer of the schoolboys. So when he got to know, they actually kept on inquiring that who wrote that graffiti, but when no one else ratted that kid out, no one gave the name. So on the doubt of suspicion, they took 15 teenage boys. They arrested them and they took them into the police custody. Now guys, so when obviously the family was worried, so when their fathers tried to find out that what had happened to the kids, when they went to the police station, so they were being told that just forget about your children, either make some new children, make some new babies, or send your wives to us and we will provide you more. So it was very humiliating. And immediate after that guys, just because the protest already have started happening, and when even Bashar al-Assad realized that okay, it is going out of the hands just because of 15 like teenagers who are in the police custody. So because of that whole protest and all, they have to release those kids. But that was the time when the whole situation started going out of the hand, because when those kids were released from the prison, they were in a very bad, in a very deplorable condition because of the police torture. Like their nails were plucked out, they were being not like given proper food, the water cannon, and torture of some inhumane kind of levels. That too, if you have to take into consideration the age of the person who is being tortured, who is just like 14-year-old. So after that guys, the whole protest started happening in, and like some of the significant events when that protest actually went out of the hands. One was the protest which happened on April 22nd 2011, where people, after their gathering in a local mosque, and they started discussing about the retaliatory action, and then the massive protest happened, which actually was recognized later on as the Syria's Friday of Dignity. After that guys, that was the first time when this massive protest happened. Because of that, on April 25th, the very first rounds of the fire took place, which actually killed two civilians in Syria, the two protesters. So first fires by security causing death of two protesters. Now guys, after that, when the Bashar al-Assad regime, they also got to know that things are going out of the hand. So they actually put the tanks and the helicopters were brought in to control the protest, but they were not being controlled even by the intelligence operating in the Syria as well. So guys, the protest keep on spreading in the major city. What happened from the southern part of the Syria in Dara, it has already spread to more than the 20 cities in Syria. So now guys, and what was happening during at that time as well, just because the whole modus operandi which was being utilized is that if you are doing any protest, you are participating in any protest, obviously you're gonna get injured sooner or later. And if an injured person will go to hospital, right immediate from there, the police who were being placed over there, stationed over there in disguise, they're gonna arrest those people who are coming there injured to get the examination done, to get the treatment. So what the protesters started doing is that they started going to a local mosque, and over there was a guy who was treating all the injured protesters. So what happened? Syrian forces also attacked this mosque as well, which not only killed the protesters but some patients and doctors as well. So now guys, after that, and there have been those instances till this time where like some of the security forces who refused to shoot bullet on the civilians were also shot by the security services. So now guys, amidst all of that, when it was happening, because you have to understand that how come a graffiti scribble by a kid became a international escalation. So immediate after that, guys, so just because of the increasing number of the death of the protesters, some of the Syrian soldiers, they also started quitting the army and they started joining up the anti-government protesters movement. And like a very defining phase of this movement was the Riyad al-Assad, who actually formed the Free Syrian Army. So he was already a trained military professional and he formed this Free Syrian Army. So now guys, now after from this point, you will get to know that how come it is now becoming bigger. So after that, the support also started pouring in from the neighboring Sunni majority countries. Many tech savvy skilled citizens who also immigrated outside of the Syria, they also started coming back and offering their support. Extremist armed opposition group as many as 1,000 with estimated 100,000 fighters group, they also started joining the movement, this Free Syrian Army movement drive. ISI, Islamic State of Iraq, which was already fighting against the establishment in the Iraq, they also joined just to support their Sunni Muslim brothers. So what used to be called as the ISI, Islamic State of Iraq, become ISIS, Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Now guys, after that, so there have been those kind of instances over where you will see that how come one country was getting embroiled into one problem after another problem. So Free Syrian Army being led by this guy Riyad al-Assad, it has already started capturing areas like Damascus, Aleppo, Raqqa using the guerrilla warfare techniques. And on the northern east side, the Kurds over there, they also started protesting in the northeast area. So this section, which has been a bottleneck, like a pain both for Syria to handle and Turkey to manage. So the protest at the same time also started happening in the northern east side of the Syria as well, where Kurd also started protesting. So now guys, now we have reached a situation that on this slide you will be able to understand that why it became a major conflict. Because on one side there was the government being led by the Bashar al-Assad, which was being supported by the Shia majority country, which was Iran. Russia, right from the time of the Bashar al-Assad's father, used to have good ties, good relation with them. So Russia was also there. Russia already have this reputation of being a trusted friend. So Russia stood by them, and Hezbollah was also there with the government. So at one end there was government, there was Hezbollah, there was Iran, there was Russia on one side. On another side, and guys, on another side there was Free Syrian Army. On another side there was ISIS, there was like Jordan, Turkey, Gulf state and Kurd forces. So just like that, Syria actually became a battleground of interest of extremist forces all around the world. So guys, you would have understood the context so far. On one side there was like oil rich Sunni countries like Qatar, Saudi Arabia, which was supporting their other Sunni brothers of Free Syrian Army, and their fighters were also being trained by the US as well. And on another side there was like the regime of Bashar al-Assad being supported by Russia and by Iran. So now guys, we are very close towards the timeline and the events which will cause the Bashar al-Assad regime to use the chemical weapon against its own civilians. So guys, on 18th July 2012, at Rawada Square, Damascus, there was a very high-end meeting which was taking place between the government officials of the Syrian intelligence, and that was being intercepted and monitored by the Free Syrian Army fighters as well. And they actually bombed this building, which actually killed the defense minister and the brother-in-law of the Bashar al-Assad. So now, immediate after that, Bashar al-Assad actually got mad. He also started coming very hard on the Free Syrian Army fighters as well. But now guys, finally that incident happened, which actually brought a lot of the shame to the humanity. That on August 2013, that was the time when the very first time the chemical weapons were used against the civilians in Syria. And that was the time, guys, like, because when I was doing my research, I saw those posts and all. There have been like the dead bodies of so many school children, so many kids which were being lied out over there on the streets. So this is the incident which happened in 2013. So now, guys, after that, when this whole criticism started happening and it started coming in from all around the world, where the international bodies like Amnesty International and the Human Rights Watch, they also started criticizing. But the concern was that out of the 200 countries which have signed the chemical convention for chemical weapon, that they cannot use it, but Syria hasn't signed that. Now immediate after that, that was not enough, but Russia and China, they also kept on using their veto in order to remove those possibilities which could actually put international sanction on Syria, or which can actually cause some combined joint military action or boycott or removal of the Bashar al-Assad from the power. So because of China and Russia, like, they kept on doing that veto for like almost 7 years. And that was also the time, guys, when there was actually a very strong face-off which also happened between US and Russia in Syria as well, where Russia was supporting the Bashar al-Assad and US was actually supporting the Free Syrian Army. Now their spokesperson were giving this statement that we are here just to kill the ISIS fighters, because right at that time all those international journalists who were covering the story, like who were covering the war and all, so they were also being kidnapped and being like beheaded and killed by many ISIS like militants as well. So amidst all of that, guys, so when actually Trump started his first tenure as a president, so Trump was the one who actually pulled America out of Syria in his very first tenure as well, because he knew this thing that there is no end to this war and it's gonna cost us resources, taxpayers money. So he actually pulled America out of the Syria. That happened in its first tenure. But in 2017, Bashar al-Assad again used the chemical weapon, and that was the time when actually US again has to intervene. And guys, finally in the month of the December 2024, when this whole thing happened, where the rebels started coming into Damascus, and Bashar al-Assad, he fled to Moscow and was granted political asylum by the Russian government. So now, guys, now after, like, once we will start looking at the chart, now you know this thing that what exactly you have to see, that what could be the time of the coup when it happened, that it could have such a bad end, like the coup which was done by the father of the Bashar al-Assad in 1970. How could it lead towards these kind of circumstances where the dictator by himself is using the chemical weapons on its own citizens, and a country which is being split apart by foreign countries with their own conflicting interest over there. Now, guys, if you will look at the chart of the country on the date when the very first time the coup happened, and immediate after that, and leading to this event in December 2024, when Bashar al-Assad fled the country, immediate in this whole period of time, the planets which were governing the fate of the country was right there in front of you. So there is a Libra Lagna right at that time when the second coup happened, and the Bashar al-Assad's father took over, presided over as the prime minister and the president. So guys, over there in the chart, if you will pay attention, Libra sign is rising. Now guys, if you will look at over here, like seeing Venus being the sign lord being placed over there, it might give you hope, but Venus is retrograde as well. Second thing is that Jupiter is not a very good planet for the Libra Lagna natives. So Jupiter is also being placed over there, having the rulership over the third and the sixth house. Now guys, when you will look at the placement of the Ketu, so now guys, Ketu is placed in the 11th house, and the sign lord of the Ketu, which becomes the sun, it is also there in the first house. Now sun in a way is kind of debilitated, but its debilitation is getting cancelled, but it is not that powerful kind of cancellation, because Venus in itself is in a retrograde kind of position as well. Now guys, after that, now when we talk about the general consensus of the government, of the people and all, beyond any doubt guys, like when we talk about Libra being rising over there, like I have also like read and heard a lot about, like, you know, how hospitable people from Syria are, about their food habits. Like there have been so many of the like bloggers who have also traveled to Damascus and all these countries, and they have also shared their experiences, that how hospitable people are, so that you get to know from the energy of the Libra being rising over there. But guys, when we talk about what led to these kind of circumstances and all, so now you have to give attention to what is happening with the Saturn over there in any country's chart, for the collective emotions and how the masses in that country are being taken control or being handled by the people in the power. You have to see the state of the moon. Like the way guys, if you will look at the chart of the China, in China's chart you will see that moon is placed in the first house, but it is there in the Capricorn sign. And we know this thing, that how strongly the government controls and even people follow that instruction. You will not find much of the news of the protest coming in from the China, because they somehow have completely surrendered themselves, or and they are in peace, living in that kind of you know, controlled kind of environment. But if you will look at the chart over here, moon, which happened to be the 10th lord, it is also conjunct with a debilitated Saturn, which is also retrograde as well. And I guess guys, that is the only reason that when you come across like this incident which happened in Syria, that otherwise how could a government and a regime will resort to a state that it will start using these kind of tortures and enforcing these kind of tortures and atrocities on its own citizen, and over and above that, letting your country and opening your country's doors to the foreign interest to fight a battleground on your own country. So these kind of things generally happen, if you will find, because right at that time, for the formation time, you will see that Saturn, a debilitated Saturn, retrograde Saturn, was somehow afflicting the moon over there. Now guys, after that, now we have to also give attention to that what is going to be happening with the planet Mars as well. So like if a country which has witnessed this kind of battleground and all, so we have to give attention to that, the state of the planet Mars as well. Now guys, if you will see that Mars is there in the 12th house, so that in itself tells about that yes, the international interest will actually intervene in the regular matters and affairs of the country as well. Now guys, that is the only reason I want to make it very clear, because this is a chart and these are the planetary alignments which actually govern the fate of the country from 1970 till 2024. Now after this time, because when I will rework again on the chart for the Syria again, it might give altogether different picture. But actually if I will look at this chart and I will see the fate of the countries for these, like you say almost for the 54 years, for the 54 years, I can fairly see the resonance which is coming in from this chart. Along with that guys, when we talk about even the Rahu-Ketu axis. So Rahu-Ketu axis, in a way, because of the Ketu's placement in the 11th house, we generally say this thing, that wherever Ketu is placed, it is actually responsible for cutting things out as well. So you know, all that kind of, you know, where right at that time when in 2011 when that whole protest was happening, you will be surprised in this country's chart when I calculated the dasha as well. So the country was in the Rahu Mahadasha from 1996 until 2014, and even the documentary which has been made, like wait, I forgot the name of the country of the documentary. I guess the documentary name was The Boy, The Boy Who Started the Syrian War. I guess there is a documentary by this name. So that whole graffiti incident which happened in 2011, that was the time when in this chart, as per this calculation, the country was also going through the Rahu Mahadasha and the Sun Antardasha. So from 9th of like January 9th 2011 till December 2nd 2011, purely the year 2011, the country was in the Rahu Sun time period, and you can see that where Sun is placed in the sign, because the sign will also get activated. Over there Ketu is placed, which might be responsible for all this thing which happened. So the dasha, looking at the dasha, looking at the chart, the international intervention, making the country like a battleground of their own interest, Mars's placement in the 12th house, you can actually look at that why it happened and what could be the reason for that. And again guys, when we talk about people who are in the power, you know, the way their mind function, so generally we say this thing that fifth house in any country's chart becomes very important. This is actually the, when we talk about the throne where the government sit, you know, the intelligence of the government, we generally attach it with the fifth house. So if you have Rahu being placed over there, so like these are those countries, if you find any of the influence of the Rahu being over there, Saturn over there, Moon over there, it can actually make you very rigid in order and for the person in power to enforce anything. They can go to any extent. Now obviously in this kind of situation, Rahu and Ketu axis is not that afflicted because Aquarius Rahu is generally otherwise considered as good. But again guys, if you will go by the original Kal Purush Kundli, fifth house again carries the energy of the sun as well. So yes guys, the chart which got activated, which was potent right at that time when that coup happened, and in those 54 years this chart could have been seen and could be attached with all these kind of things. And also guys, when this recent coup and rebel which happened, which actually forced Bashar al-Assad to flee the country, that also happened when the country was in the Jupiter Mahadasha and the Venus Antardasha. And this Venus Antardasha was supposed to get over on the January of 2025 only, but by that time it has already created this kind of, you know, giving a complete solution to the country. So yes guys, this was just a basic overview. So yes guys, in this video I just wanted to present this case because in the past couple of decades this is one such incident which is actually very alarming, and just because there have been those kind of brutalities and atrocities which has happened in the past as well. You take up the case of the Genghis Khan, also in India, in Bollywood, this recent movie which has got released over where one of the Deccan and the Maratha king, he was being made to go through many of the tortures by one of the like Mughal king as well. So I mean to say it has happened, but this incident standalone was actually very heart-wrenching. So I just wanted to see the chart and talk about that. And yes guys, for further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.